All right, and welcome back to Gotham Sound's coverage of NAB 2026. So I am here with Marc Wilson from Glensound at Glensound's booth. Thank you for having us.
It's welcome. It's great to see you again. Always good to see you guys.
Absolutely. So you, as always, have a ton of stuff. So I'm going to let you take it away, and I'll ask any questions I have, but what do you got?
Okay, we'll let you show what's new for the US and into Vegas at the moment at NAB. So this is the DARK22M. I'm going to unplug it from the network. This is really interesting because we've had lots of inquiries for a high specification, low channel count Dante unit. So this is 2 inputs, mic and line, with very high specification mic amplifiers and 2 outputs. Normally the low channel count units are Ultimos. This is a Brooklyn. So that means we can give you a gigabit network interface. It means you've got primary and secondary on copper, which is your PoE as well. Primary and secondary on SFP slots there for your fiber connections. So you've got dual redundancy there. You can also take power from USB-C there. On the USB-C, we have 4 stereo USB connections. You can make your adjustments on the unit itself here, but it is also remote controllable. We have the 2 analog inputs, the USB connection. You can route anything to anything. So if you want to take USB in, send it to Dante, you can do that. You want to take analog in, out of USB, you can do that. So it's very flexible.
So this is an interface as well.
It's an interface, but it's although it's basically analog, it's 2 in, 2 out. It's a high specification unit, high performance, low noise. The mic amps are excellent. A lot of people are using it in terms of like a link unit, a snake almost, because if you want high spec, previously a lot of people are using bigger, higher channel count units where they might only need to send 2 channels. So we've been asked a lot for this, particularly in this tough portable style that we have that allows fixing under a desk, on the side of a rack, cable tie it somewhere. You know, it's a high spec utility box.
That's a nice touch. The little hole here.
And none of the limitations of an Ultimate.
No, because it's a Brooklyn 3.
So yeah, none of the limitations available. Okay, cool.
And with Brooklyn 3s now, of course, they are all ST2110.
Brilliant.
So that's one. Now, we have these. These are our Minos boxes. Our Minos boxes are basically Dante wall plate interfaces. So this is the standard twin gang US box. We can do our own plate like this, or we can do the Decora plates here if it needs to look a bit nicer. We have the wireless connection here. We have analog connections here on RCAs and on mini jacks. We can do it with XLRs. It's a utility wall panel interface, so that could be an interface in a school classroom or a church or this type, just as a nice, simple interface in and out of your network.
And this would be line level, is that right? So like you would come in line level,
you would on the XLR panels, yeah,
you
would, yeah, and also here actually.
Got it. And then this is Bluetooth.
That's Bluetooth, yeah.
Cool, great.
So
Love
that's
it.
our Minos. We have this actually. Here we have 2 of these. This is a dark mic interface, a smaller mic interface. That's the 4-channel input. There is also a 2, the Dark 4 MAI and the Dark 2 MAI. It has the full network interface for copper and fiber there, so dual redundancy as well. You've got DC inputs on the barrel connection and on a 12-volt DC there, and 4 high-specification microphones, remote control on Glen controller.
Is it the same mic preamps as the DARK22?
It is, yes.
And then it also, so XLR4 and 12-volt on a 2.1.
Yeah, it's 12-volt DC on both of those, so it's just backup power. It is PoE.
Yeah.
We actually made that. It was a custom request for the starting gate in horse racing. So it's the effect, they were using the effects mics for the starting gate on these.
Oh, wow. So you just run one Dante, one fiber.
Yep, exactly.
Done.
That.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Now this is quite interesting because this year marks Glensound's 60th anniversary.
Oh,
we are 60 years old. Thank you very much. We've been around a long while now. We've been practicing a while. So just to celebrate as a bit of fun for our 60th anniversary, our current sort of headline product is our GTM eSports unit. So we've done a diamond version. Diamond is 60th anniversary. These are all Swarovski crystals on our GTM Diamond. There's 4,000 Swarovski crystals there. This took one of our engineers about 3 days to manually by hand put all these on.
Wow.
And I can say he tried one of the side panels twice because he wasn't happy one of the times he did it. So that's the GTM Diamond that blings away on our stand.
Look at, and it matches my nails.
And it matches your nails.
Which are not Swarovski crystals and didn't take 3 days.
So
I'll tell you
if
that.
Liberace was ever into esports, that's the unit he would want to use.
That's beautiful. I love that. That's so cool.
That's our GTM Diamond.
So wait, so what did Glensound start out doing? You haven't been doing Dante for 60 years.
We started Dante in about 2015, 2016. Back in the day, Len Davis, the original owner of Glensound, he set the company up as an ex-BBC engineer to build specific products for the BBC. So if you're familiar with analog telephone hybrids,
yeah,
that was an invention of Len Davis. He invented that for putting callers on air to at the time in the UK there was one national radio station. So it was for that one national radio station. I think the program was called It's Your Line. He invented the hybrid or telephone balancing unit for that purpose, and that's where the company started and rolled and evolved from there.
Wow, so really, interfaces back then to interfaces now, because that's what this is, right? This is all interface.
Yeah, these are all audio problem-solving products. That's where we always start.
That's a really, it's a really interesting history lesson.
I heard a rumor that he started as a roadie for the Who.
That is not true.
Okay, so the rumor that he started as a roadie for the Who is not true.
Where was he before?
He said it was BBC.
He was a BBC.
Yeah, BBC.
I don't know. That's a bit before my time. So.
And before the BBC, there was no before the BBC.
No,
the BBC's always been there.
That's where it all started.
And it always has been. Okay, let's keep going down the line.
Okay, so you probably saw the Greater Divine last year. So this has had a bit of a change. You're familiar perhaps with DRAM prices going crazy and expensive, and we've had lots of issues with component pricing, not just us, the world. And pricing was getting a bit high on this, so we had to make two versions. So we basically have the Greater Divine version 1 and the Greater Divine version 2, which we've called the Supernal. So the Greater Divine version 1 will be an Ultimo-based unit still, but it will have PoE+, so we'll have more power available. So instead of 10 watts, it will be up to 25 watts. And we will give analog inputs, and we will have local power. And that will be the standard Greater Divine. Then we will also have the Greater Divine Supernal, which will be our own embedded platform with DSP processing that gives us lots of user functionality in terms of setting crossovers, in terms of parametric EQ, compression, further dynamics. We'll put a headphone amplifier on it. We'll have USB audio on it as well on the Supernal, so it will be the higher spec bells and whistles unit. So there will be two versions, the Greater Divine and the Greater Divine Supernal.
Do you know, what the time frame is for those and
the initial, the standard Greater Divine will certainly be delivering and on shelves within 3 months now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. And do you know approximate pricing between the two?
Yes, I know it in pounds. I can't remember it.
Pounds is fine. We can. People can convert.
In pounds, the Greater Divine is £999. The Greater Divine Supernal will be £1,495.
Okay, got it. So we'll have to do the conversion and figure out what the tariffs are and all that stuff.
Sorry, I haven't got that in.
No, that's okay. Those things, they change. You never
depends
know.
What day it is.
Right, exactly. They absolutely change. All right, moving on. That's great. We're very excited for this.
We were saying we should perhaps do our pricing like they do in fish restaurants, where it just says market price. Yeah.
Catch of the day, exactly.
Right, where are we going next? Right, this is now the full released version of our Beatrice R12. You may have seen the sample of this last year, but quite a lot's changed now.
The screen's beautiful.
A 12-channel intercom panel. Obviously, the main difference now is we have screens on it. The screens are quite useful because at a glance, these top two channels are showing you the receive and the transmit information. Those labels are just being taken straight from Dante controller. There is no controller for this unit, there's no software. This is a plug and play, that information is just coming from Dante controller. The top line is your listen. So if you press up, I'm turning the listen on and off. The second line is talk. If you push down, you have your talk that just shows you who you're talking to. The third line is signal. So I can see here that I have a signal on 1 and 2.
So when you pop up, you can hear that whatever that signal is.
You put that on to listen, yeah. You've got left and right, which is the incoming gain control. So if you need to turn a channel up and down, you've got left and right. We've got some further neat functions in there as well for dynamics and settings. But ultimately, the Beatrice R12 is all about having the screens automatically populated from Dante controller.
That's cool. That's, I mean, great that you can do that in one spot, have it read. And this is a very standard comms interface. I mean,
yeah,
people
absolutely.
know how to use that.
And the whole purpose of the R12 is the price point is very competitive because it's pitched underneath the big fancy systems, which are all very clever and very impressive. But we're deliberately kind of under that. This is the plug and play option.
We had somebody, Webbles, do the conversion for us, and it's probably going to be about $2,000 for the Supernal.
Right.
Yeah, with tariff and conversion. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, and we've got the red phone. I know we've covered that before.
The red phone, you've seen our Parliament system, which continues to expand and be very interesting for us. We've got several big projects underway and continued. Now, this is actually Scottish Parliament on the screen that we're looking at there. So if any of your customers are ever involved in any parliamentary system, any local government parliamentary buildings where there are lots of speakers, lots of microphones in a building, whether it's a debating chamber or a committee room, we have the system within our parliamentary broadcast system to manage and take care of that.
And last year you showed us that there's a card that, like a security card that goes into that. Yeah,
that's right.
I remember this from last year. So you have your special clearance card, then you can sit in and you can take your feed talking to the mic.
Yeah, typically this would be involved in front of every MP or councillor, whoever it is. So they would be ID'd. So when they vote or talk, it's logged to the correct person automatically in the system. It's got 4 channels of audio coming in it here, so if they're listening to any interpreted audio, they can select that. Then we've got parliamentary process buttons here, request to speak, interrupt, point of order, which is typically how they do it. We're showing this in a standalone box. All the parliamentary groups we've done thus far, it's always fitted into existing furniture. So it's this is just really for show, just to show what it is, but it's normally done in the color scheme and fitted into existing furniture.
I see. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Wow.
So that's kind of that's the overview of what's new with Glensound at the moment, and that we're highlighting and showing at NAB.
So the thing that I always like to highlight, because you like to highlight it, is that you guys are a pretty flexible and quick company. You know, people come to you with issues and look for problems, and then you solve them. You know, you'll make a custom solution. How long does something like that usually take?
Well, it depends what it is. I often say to people, you know, we're here showing you what we do now, but I often say to people, forget this, because this isn't relevant. You know, what are you trying to do? What's your application? What are you trying to fix at the moment? What's your job? What's the project? And we start there, and we try and fit the profile of what the customer's trying to do. So if it's fairly straightforward hardware-based, it can be really quick. I mean, we can literally be start to finish in 12 weeks maybe for simple hardware projects. When you start getting into software-based systems, it varies very much, because that can increase the time factor quite significantly, and who knows for that. But for simple projects that are just hardware-based, yeah, we can turn those around pretty quickly.
Really quick. Cool. So we had a couple of comments. Fierce Sound said very impressive stuff. Kuch Long, we haven't looked at it, but sports commentator box. If you just, since we're live and we're showing things, I know you have one.
We have 60, actually.
There are 60. What's the most popular one for a single commentator, and where is it?
It's back this way.
We're going to rewind and walk backwards.
The most popular for a single commentator is called the Inferno. It was actually the first commentary box we ever did in Dante. We use an 8-channel in and out Brooklyn device, so that means we can send 8 audio outputs. So that's the main program mic plus 7 talkbacks, and we receive 7 inputs. We have the 8th pot for side tone, their own voice. So basically you have 7 talkbacks in and out plus the own mic. It is a Brooklyn, so we have full redundancy on the back.
Oh, and it can do AC as well. AC, DC.
What we like to say on this, because we have the double redundancy network, you have 4 network connections, PoE, DC, AC, so you've got 4 network connections and 4 power sources.
Yeah, wow.
On the Inferno. Plus it's remote control. It's a web browser remote control, because this predates the Glen controller, which made it very popular with people using Apple computers. Particularly in COVID, where the demand for single-user boxes skyrocketed. The Inferno continues to be our most popular single commentary box because it's massively capable.
Yeah, and you can literally drop this on the table, have your A2 connect it, and then have somebody who's dialed in remote fix all the settings remotely.
Absolutely. The important one is the gain level of the microphone and turn the microphone on and off. That is all completely remote controllable.
Wild. Okay, brilliant. Marc, thank you. It's always nice to see you.
And you.
Thanks for having us. Thank you all for watching and for all your comments. Stay tuned for more coverage from day 1 of NAB 2026.